call the official meeting together this morning. We're going to have an invocation, and I'm not sure who's doing. Oh, I do. Reverend Don Miller. We're going to do an invocation. The invocation is done for the benefit of the Board of Works. If you'd like to participate in the invocation, it's fine. If you'd rather not, you don't have to. And whether or not you participate has no bearing on the reason that you came here. It won't change anything. We ask people from the community to come and give the invocation. They do it free will, and everybody is welcome, any religion that would like to come in and ask that invocation. So I'm going to ask us all to stand. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. It looks like I get to lead it today. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing. Don Miller is, if you come to the podium, Don, is a former counselor at the school for many years, and has a church out at Fairview, Bentonville Christian Church. And it's an honor to have you today, Don, to do our invocation.
Shall we pray? Father, we're thankful for the opportunity that we have just now to come and meet together. Father, we're thankful that we live in a country where the Board of Public Works can meet regularly each and every month to do business. Father, we're thankful for your watch care over us as individuals, as a country, and as a community. And Father, we do ask just now that you would be with our city, Connersville, during this bicentennial celebration. Bless it. Bless all the activities as people come in to share what Connersville has meant and will mean to this community through the years. Be with this group just now, Father, as they meet. Give them wisdom, give them understanding. Father, also give them patience and kindness as they deliberate. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Again, before we start today, I'd like to mention that former Governor Otis Bowen passed away. If you wonder why the flags are at half-staff around the city and around the state, Governor Bowen was a great governor. I got to know him personally. He came to Connersville on many occasions, and he was a great governor, I think. I didn't realize he had got up to be 95 years old, but the years go on fast. So with that, I'll call the official meeting of the Board of Works together. Our first item of business will be roll call.
Jane Oakley. Present. Fran Schomel.
Present.
Leonard Urban.
Present.
Mike Bishop.
Present.
Ron Coldiron.
Present.
Let the record show that all 5 members of the Board of Works are present. We have a quorum and we can do business. Next item of business would be the reading of the minutes and all subsequent call meetings.
Mayor, I move that we accept the minutes as they were presented.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to accept the minutes as they were presented to the board members. Are there any additions or corrections? None appearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. The minutes are approved. We have a man in the audience that wants to talk to us. Come on forth. Josh, I think it is. Josh?
Yeah.
We've been through this twice, and the Board of Works had asked him for scope of the work and the places where the road cuts were going to be made. This is for the fiber optic for On Point. You want to make your presentation?
Sure. Yes, I do. I have a copy of the blueprints for the job, showing the route.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the state permits and a copy of our insurance for on-plan construction.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Now, we called locates in for the areas, and we talked about hard surface cuts.
how many we would have in asphalt or sidewalk. And we have a total within the state, or the city right away, 33 cuts. And that is 4 cuts in 2nd Street, 3 in Western, 22 in Summit, and 4 on Meyer Street. Now those locations are...
How many on Meyer?
4. Now those, we might have additional cuts once we get started, if utilities are not located right in that area of work, because we're gonna actually be working in the sidewalk. So if marks are off, one sidewalk panel or another, we'll have additional there. So as we start our construction, we may have to change how many cuts we actually have. But right now it's showing 33 in the city right away.
John, you gone over the financial responsibility with this?
This is the first time I've seen this. I notice on the certificate of liability insurance and automobile liability, workers' comp, and general liability, the city needs to be added as an additional insured. The city is named as a certificate holder, but that doesn't make us an additional insured. The city needs to be placed in the position of being an additional insured under this policy. That's one thing we need to do. And the second thing is that we need to know the scope of the work regarding the amount of construction costs other than materials. We need to know 100% of construction costs. Other than materials, and we need a performance bond in that amount. And I've discussed the matter with our insurance carrier, and that's what they want to see put in place.
Did you not meet with John privately and find out what you needed to do?
No, we have not met privately.
No.
I thought that was wasn't that what we came to last meeting? Didn't we agree he was to meet with John and come up with this performance bond? Am I right or wrong?
I don't recall.
I don't either.
I don't recall a meeting, just the performance bond was the only thing
Okay,
requested.
John did
That was the only
request
thing
that.
was requested.
Yeah, it's in the amount, the question then was, what was the amount of the
Construction.
construction cost? And we need to know that less material.
Well, you asked me to find out how many cuts I was gonna make in your street.
That was one of the folks did, I didn't, yeah. But we need, amounts.
Amount of what my construction is gonna cost.
Yes.
For my actual cost, is that what you're asking for?
For this work, you're going to do less materials. We don't need to be worried about bonding materials because you're not working for the city.
All right,
Yeah. See, if you were contracting with the city, you'd have to put up a performance bond
I understand.
for a total 100% of the construction costs, including materials. Since you're not working for the city, you just have to put up a performance bond in the amount of 100% of the construction costs and not including materials.
Well, to do that, I'll probably have to consult with the customer to give out that information. I don't know whether that's
Well,
between my firm and theirs. I don't know
All
whether
right.
that's,
Well, we need a construction bond in that amount. I don't know that I think you can talk to me about it. And that's what the bond will end up being.
How do you want us to proceed, John?
Well, we have to have that figure.
Before we approve it?
Right.
So we need to table this till the next meeting?
Well, I think so. I don't know, what's your schedule calendar-wise?
Well, I mean, if the paperwork's not approved, we can,
I haven't put a schedule together until you folks approve.
So you don't have anything scheduled to start?
Well, the initial was like April 15th was the beginning due date of the project, but it's been pushed away.
Well, the Board of Works can give me authority or the mayor authority to receive from you the amount of the construction cost and authorize a bond in that amount. You just need to find it out and call us. I think the Board of Works can do that if they choose to do so.
You understand what he's saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary that he
Keep waiting.
talks, he doesn't need to keep coming back. He needs to get started on his project. He doesn't need to make public the amount of the construction
True.
between him and his company.
Right.
That's it. We just need the performance bond, and I would move.
That's
that
the only
we-
thing that's keeping us from
Right.
okaying
that
this.
We move that be handed over. We approve that with the performance bond being to the satisfaction of Mr. Baker.
That with us being made an additional insured on this policy.
Okay, so the motion is that you're making, right, Jane?
Yes.
That we go ahead and approve that by Mr. Baker telling us it's okay if we have the performance bond and we have the name on
The insurance.
insured certificate for the
Yep.
city,
As an additional insured, right?
additional insurance. You got that?
Yep.
Any discussion?
No, fine.
Anything else?
Do you need a second?
I'll second it, Julie.
Jane Oakley,
Yes.
Fran Schomel,
Yes.
Leonard Urban,
Yes.
Mike Bishop,
Yes.
Ron Coldiron.
Yeah.
You have to pass that motion. I'm sorry for this, but we gotta do what he said because we gotta be careful. But it shouldn't take you too long if you can get those things to him. And then as soon as he tells me, I'll sign it off on it and we'll be ready to go.
So I may have a bond as early as the end of the week.
Good.
The amount, is there a way that I can contact you, John?
Yeah, well,
Get that to
let
you.
us know what that is, let me know what it is, and then go ahead and, I'll suggest you go ahead and get the bond, I suspect,
All right.
and get his name as additional insured on the liability coverage,
What's the best way to contact you?
by phone, 825-7511.
All right.
Any other items you need?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry for the delay, but we
That's
gotta
all right.
do it.
I understand.
We got her this time, I think.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We didn't vote yet, did we?
Yes, we did.
Oh, yes, we did.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay, we have Lean Lane's Mr. and Mrs. Self, who is speaking. Yeah.
We're buying a house up here on it's 701 West Fifth here in Connersville. We started a land contract with buying the house in February. We went down to see about paying taxes and everything, found out that the city has a waiting lien against the house, the property itself. It was applied last August. The thing is, we've contacted the man that we're buying the house from, have been waiting 3 months for him to do something about it, pay, it's something that I was unaware at the time that I joined it, I signed into the contract and everything. I was told that maybe you guys could have it removed, or, I don't want to lose the property or something like that there, due to somebody else's lien, against it.
So you bought this on a contract from the individual?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it wasn't at a sheriff's sale or
No.
or a commissioner's sale?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
So there's a 701 or 705, or
The 701 West Fifth.
we have 705 on,
which is it?
so it is 701,
It's 701,
okay.
Julie, do we know the amount of it?
$675 is the one.
675. Is that from 2012?
Yes, it was just mowed one time.
Is that the only lien that's against it, Julie?
Yes. And the owner's somebody from Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's,
Cumberland?
Cumberland.
Cumberland.
Right. I've cut down the bushes and everything that was in front of the house and, keeping the yard mowed, planting some flower gardens, a couple of trees. I'm planning on, doing some other work, we're on a fixed income and it's a
Are
slow
you
process.
gonna live there?
Yes, we're living there now.
So it
You
is
know
your
anything about
residence.
this, David?
No, not unless,
Have you inspected it?
unless Mr. O'Neill did it last summer. I don't recall it myself, not that address.
Did you buy this property knowing this lien was against it?
No, we did not.
That'd have to be close to, what, Fifth and Summit,
Yes, it's right on the corner.
right on the corner. I know the lot, but I don't recall me dealing with it. I think maybe Mr. O'Neill might have dealt with it, but I didn't.
What date of purchase did you buy it?
The 2nd of February,
Of this year?
yes.
And he didn't tell you there were liens
No.
against it?
I've got a contract.
And he will not contact you regarding these liens? It's
He
his
keeps telling me,
responsibility.
every time I call him, he keeps telling me that he'll take care of it,
It's
this and
his
that.
responsibility. He
Right.
didn't mow it last year, it's his responsibility, not yours. You bought it this year.
Uh-huh.
But I don't see how we can release the lien that he
Right.
owes. He needs to come down here and request it being released. You feel that way?
Yes.
Yeah, it's,
I understand the pickle you're in.
Right.
What's that keeping you from doing?
What I'm saying, I just don't want to keep making payments on it and then the city end up taking it because of a lien. Is what
We're not gonna take it. I can tell you that up front. We can't take it. We can keep a lien against it, but we can't take it for $675.
Okay.
Well, it can be sold at tax sale if it's.
It
Yeah,
could,
that's what I'm looking at,
That tax-
Mayor, I have worked, I don't know Mr. Cumber personally, but I have worked for him. If you'd like me to, I'll contact him as a Board of Works member.
That might be our best bet.
Okay?
Is that the gentleman that sold it to him?
He owns it, yeah. No, I haven't met him, but I have done transactions with him, so I do have his number at the office.
Pretty good, yeah.
That'd be
Let me
great.
just call him and tell him he needs to take care of a lien.
I'll make a motion that we let Ron handle this and see what he can come up with by the next meeting, okay? And then Melissa will notify you. You got his contact?
Yes. Might have to give you another one more time before you leave.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, do you have a number? Can I get a hold of you? Do you have a phone number?
You tell them.
309
Okay,
1092.
1092? Okay. All right.
Scott Hickman, want to come forward. Scott's requesting a 5K run for Calvary Baptist Church. Go ahead with your presentation, Scott.
Okay, on behalf of Calvary Baptist Church, I'm asking permission to run a 5K here in the city. Originally, our date was going to be June 15th. However, we just a few days ago discussed moving that back to July the 20th due to the fact that there's so many events in the city of Connersville going on that day that revolve around the bicentennial celebration and everything. That's the only major change that we've made.
Have you discussed the route with the chief of police?
I have not, because we just did get back yesterday, in fact, got a thing back from USA Track and Field. We are going to be fully sanctioned by USA Track and Field, and we could not do anything as far as writing up our course until we got that back, because all that has to be approved by USA Track and Field prior to moving ahead as far as that. Our course, though, I did print off a copy of the course we had from last year. Basically, the major changes that we made to the course are that we're not going to be crossing over State Road 1 to go into the park. We're actually going to go out and use Iowa Street and go down Iowa Street and then basically make a big circle right back up to the church. So we're going to try for the most part stay off of all the main roads here within Connersville for that.
Can I get a copy of your, I'll make you a copy real quick.
Yeah. That's the one from last year. Like I said, we won't be going over one here. We're actually going to continue on over to Iowa Street instead of crossing at Grand, and then go down from there and come back around. But we had to get that approved by USA Track and Field because they're sanctioning this, because it then becomes a qualifying event for several major races across the United States.
So they actually had to come in and do some measurements and improve the course itself.
So you're gonna start at the church and go all the way down to 18th and cut over to Iowa?
No, we'll start on Park and 24th Street there at the north corner of the church, go over to Iowa, and then go down, and then we'll cut across on 18th and come back up Virginia.
Okay.
John, do we have to have an insurance certificate? I forgot, we got a new rule on that now from the state. What are,
Right, certificate of liability insurance.
who do we have to have that from? From the church to us?
The sponsor of the event.
Okay. Because of that collapse at the stadium, they made a whole bunch of new rules in state law. We have to have an insurance certificate
Okay.
by the church naming us as the insured,
Well, as an additional
As an
insured,
additional
along with the
insured.
church.
Insurance.
just like we did with the man just before you there.
Okay.
Most insurance companies, you call them and they'll make it out and just bring it down to clerk treasurer or to Melissa, either one.
Okay. I'll check with the church on that, and I'll also check to make sure. I think you guys are already included in,
Well, we have to have that
The
certificate on
contract,
file. They
Right.
require we have it on file.
and I'll make sure that you guys get the stuff from USA Track and Field, because that has a bunch of liability clearing stuff in it.
That'd be good. Yeah, board, do you want to approve this today, or what do you want to do?
What will be their starting time?
Starting time will be at 8 a.m.
Okay.
Chief, you got any problem with that course?
No, I had some questions, but I can get him out here in the hall.
Is the date open, Melissa?
I have met later across the hall.
Sorry, that's okay, I'm sure.
And our run time is 65 minutes, so after 65 minutes, there wouldn't be anything closed off or anything like that. We would completely open everything back up. Any runners that are not on pace, we would be picking up.
Necessary to block any street crossings, Chief?
No, I don't think we're having problems right there, maybe some assistance on Grand. My question is, you're not gonna go to Grand, you're gonna go over to Iowa?
Yes.
Well, when you go to Iowa, then you're gonna go south, I take it, south,
Yes.
okay, on Iowa? But you gotta jog someplace, because it comes to 21st Street and T, so you have to go down over to Vermont.
I think that's right. We do go across to Vermont and then right back up.
Okay, so then you're gonna, so you get to 18th Street, to West 18th Street, then you're gonna follow, of course, follows West 19th Street.
Thank you.
That's kinda got me confused right there.
And I actually, I have a map that's drawn out as well, so.
Yeah, if you could, get that to me,
Yeah,
okay?
and I'll try and get that to you tomorrow.
That's fine.
With the USA.
Could we, again, approve this pending that you get the certificate of insurance to Mr. Baker, and that he get the route okay with the chief, and he doesn't have to come back here to,
Yes.
I'll take a motion to that effective.
So moved.
Second.
Like, you understand what we're doing, as long as you get those two things, you get the route that he approves, and you get the certificate of insurance, this board approves it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Who's second?
I did.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Good luck,
much.
hope everything goes well for you.
Thank you.
Just stick them to me tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll be there. Just gonna-
Okay, we have a situation over on A Street 425. As you know, we took this up and we weren't sure, but Mr. Baker had taken this through court in 2012. And this building is in a deplorable condition. The bricks are falling out. We've had several of the neighbors over here complaining. So I asked the chief to get us some bids. You ready to give us a lowdown on that? Come to the
Yeah,
podium, wait for it.
I had another bid come in this morning. I didn't hear.
I think
from-
we got it, so.
Pardon?
It's in the mayor's packet.
Just in your parents'
Just in
packet.
yours.
Don't we have three?
Well, we
The
had,
third one they didn't get.
we had four, but one dropped out of it. He didn't want, wasn't interested.
Oh, okay, so we have three.
So we have three. and that was by Atkins, Frank, and Gettinger.
Oh, that's
Well,
We
you
got
probably
two.
don't have,
We got two, the mayor's
Gettinger
got
just
three.
came in today, or excuse me, Frank just came in today, so
Yeah,
you
we
don't
don't
I
have.
have Frank, that's what's confusing.
We don't have it.
Okay.
So, but we have 3 bids, and, take care of
A
that.
copy of Frank's.
She's making it.
She's making it. I can give them to you, though.
Go ahead and read them, I think they need to
Okay,
be on.
demolition, this is from Atkins, demolition of building 425 West 8th Street. Owner provides waste dumpsters. Backfill basement with brick from building, finished grade with pit run gravel. Remove basement walls 1 foot below grade, all hazardous materials is owner's responsibility. And that was Atkins, and that was $42,500. The next one is Russell Gettinger. And on his is demolish house structure 425 West 8th, will include demolition of house structure. Fill basement in with brick and dirt, cover top basement, fill dirt and level out. City will supply dumpsters, and that was at $22,000 even. And then the one I got this morning, that I expected here from by Friday, but he got it to me this morning. And that was Frank Construction, and it was a job site 425 West 8th, demolition of apartment complex, provide 20 loads of fill dirt for the basement. City provide dumpsters and all materials handled to landfill, or hauled to landfill. Equipment, fill dirt and labor, $19,640.
How much are the dumpsters gonna cost?
I'm not sure what the dumpsters cost.
How many dumpsters would he?
They're right at about $400 a year.
Big
Each.
ones, the big ones.
And how many take that?
On a regular house, it's been taking us around 10. That's a huge place. However, they're gonna use, it's all brick, and they're gonna use the brick, and it has a 3/4 basement.
And not all of them are gonna use,
Not a lot of brick.
So,
Frank's not.
No, he said he's not going to
Frank's
use any.
gonna haul
or
it away and
He
use
doesn't
dirt.
specify that he's going to
yeah, that's right.
break.
20 loads of builder.
Chief, did you ask them when you asked for bids for certificate of insurance, and is that required?
Yes.
Did you ask
No, I
them
haven't.
that?
Yeah, we have to have that in all jobs.
Because we only have it from one, and I didn't know if
Yeah.
anyone else had.
No, I didn't ask for one
Okay,
at the time, really didn't think about it, but I'm sure I can get it.
What we've been doing, Jane, if whoever gets the job, we ask them for it before they start.
okay,
But you're right, it'd be a lot handier for us if they just presented it with it.
right, Mr. Gettinger
We've
did.
asked that with everyone we get, and then, but they don't do it, so.
Since we have to provide the dumpsters, can our people knock this thing down?
No,
No, that's too
we've
big.
been over there and looked
Too
at it,
dangerous.
it's 2.5 stories. It's all brick, and the brick is falling, and there's only 2 foot of ground between that building and the house to the east. It's falling over on their lot already.
And I think something's falling out in the alley.
That's
The alley
what-
roots.
No,
That's
it's
a
too far
parking.
back there to the house.
It's falling off the back of that.
Is it?
House, yes,
Yeah.
in the parking lot.
I was there this morning.
Another question, when I was reading these, they're all just a little bit different. Like, one's not gonna use the brick to fill in, he's gonna use fill dirt, that's an extra expense for us to get rid of the brick. Basement walls below grade, so after it settles, we don't have another issue of digging them back up and try it again. And in that curve of 8th Street, as close as that house is to the street, are we considering traffic control there on,
We'll have to.
You'll have to, no doubt, yeah.
that's another expense for taking manpower away from the street.
I'd probably have to block it off there basically at 8th and Western. And maybe allow some local traffic for the milk place there, but then block it off probably up at, probably on up to Mulberry
Yeah,
or
first,
Walnut.
Walnut,
Walnut.
Walnut, next one. Okay.
So is Frank, gonna put the brick in the dumpsters, or are we gonna be liable to haul it off?
I don't know, I haven't really talked
This
to
isn't
anybody.
very explanatory, in my opinion.
This got dropped off to me this morning, and
Why don't you go in and make a call to him while we finish this?
I can do that.
Because number one, we're gonna ask the council to do it anyway, we can't do it because we don't have the money.
You know, I was planning to have that tonight anyway, so.
Yeah.
I'll give him a call real quick.
Let's postpone this for a little bit till he finds out what, that's the only one we're not sure of, right? It's gonna put the brick, and how far he's gonna break the foundation off.
Okay.
What's, I know we've been on this a long time, this building, and I walked around the building too, and it's probably one of the worst buildings I've seen in a long time. I mean, it's, the sides are even buckling, yeah. Another year and you can scrape it up anyway, you won't have to tear it down. It's gonna fall down. I just don't understand, the deed is in somebody's name, somebody's liable. If the thing fell down tonight, who is responsible for that building?
Well, let me tell you the history of this. I shouldn't probably, but I've been in on this from day one. A bank here in town had about a $60,000 or $70,000 mortgage on that building.
Now, there's no liens on it now, because I wouldn't look.
I went to that bank in 10 or 9 and asked them at that time what they were going to do, because they were in the process of rebuilding the building. They came back to me probably within a month or 6 weeks and told me they're washing their hands of it. They sent a clear title to the owner, who at that time lived in Cambridge City. And we contacted the owner. They were not in a financial position to do anything, and they basically washed their hands of it. At this time, I think there's some taxes due. There's no insurance on it, and we find ourselves in this position. So then we took it through court in 2011 or 12, John? 12?
12, I believe.
And what procedure is the court, what does that do?
We've talked about this for 2
When you
years.
go to court, you ask the court to make the owner bring it up to living standards or do away with the nuisance. If they don't do it in a period of time, what is that period of time?
Well, the court order gives them 30 days to bring the property into compliance with our city ordinance, nuisance ordinance. And if they fail to do so, then the city has the court-ordered authority to do so, whatever it takes to bring the property into compliance with the nuisance ordinance, including demolition if necessary. That's basically the way it works.
So if we tear it down, this gentleman still owns the property, is that
Yeah, but
correct?
we'll have a $20,000 mortgage. That's as much as we're allowed to put,
Yeah,
right? It's
we'll
4
have a
apartments.
lien against it for the demolition.
But it's 4 apartments, so we're allowed 20,000.
Right.
So, let me ask the question again. If the building fell down tonight and someone was hurt, who is liable?
The owner.
Okay. So I realize we don't want to do that. But what I'm, this is not getting any better. We're looking at 20 grand to tear a building down that we're not going to recoup. So it just seems to me like we need to go make more stringent ordinance or whatever. When you break an ordinance, can you be thrown in jail?
Nope.
No.
There is a more stringent ordinance or a state law that has come through this year. But all it does is allow us to, I think it allows us to take possession of the property, providing the lien is greater than the assessed value.
Right. There has been some changes. I'm looking into them now.
But why would we want to own it?
That's the
It's not
problem.
worth anything. Then we gotta
We don't
mow
want
it.
to own it. I don't even want to tear it down. It's $20,000.
Money spent,
That's the
yeah,
point.
that we don't have.
That we're not liable right now, if I'm understanding the question, we're not liable for it right now. Someone else is.
Right.
It's called protecting your citizens. We have people who live on both sides. People live behind it. We got little kids that play there. We got little kids that walk by it every day, 10 times a day to get the bus. They all come out around that building to meet the school bus.
And I can't argue the building is falling down. It's literally falling down. It's there. It's like Mr. Job said, the brick out the back are literally hanging off the building right now. I mean, it's dangerous. But
Is it the city's responsibility to avert danger for the common people? I guess it is.
I think so.
And we probably got, 30 others just like it on
Yeah.
it.
Small
No,
enough to say that.
and I'm just saying, that it gets to a point, you can't afford the buildings, and someone else has to be held responsible if they bought the building. I don't know the answer. I'm just saying that if someone else is liable for the building, it looks like there ought to be other recourse rather than just taking tax funding and tearing these buildings down.
Well, we've asked, the legislature's been asked to correct the problem for cities all over the state They refuse to do anything.
Every year I've been up there and testified before that legislature twice and asked them to do something. Because every city is in the same situation. And there's states like Michigan where they've tearing down whole blocks of houses. And they're plowing it up and planting corn. I mean, this is what we're into.
I mean, we're looking at approximately 20,000 for this, but you haven't yet added in the cost of the dumpsters.
Exactly.
I mean, it could be 30,000 before this thing is finished.
It will be, because I figured about $14,000 worth of dumpsters.
May I ask a question, Your Honor?
Wow.
If we rented the equipment, do we have people capable in the city of tearing it
Not
down?
on that one.
It's a little different building. than
I understand
most.
that, but I mean, if we done all the proper safety procedures that we need to do.
There's
could
no
we-
way, it's falling over on the house to the east.
How will these guys
That's what I was
do
gonna
it
say, how they gonna do it any different?
without tearing?
They're just good at it, and what they do is that they'll tear down the middle and cave it into the center.
They have a-
I've watched them
They're
do
gonna
it.
implode, it's what they're
Can
gonna
we
do, right?
implode it?
I don't know if you can do that with that.
I don't think you could.
can
Fran.
either. It's already-
They'll implode it with equipment's what I'm saying, not dynamite, they'll implode it with equipment.
Yeah, you don't have much room.
You can't get
On the
it
two
from the
sides.
two buildings.
I didn't walk in the back door, it's wide open. And I won't walk
Well,
in
the
the back
kids
door.
playing there, and the animals playing.
Well, yeah, it's a health hazard is what it is.
I agree with you, Mayor, but where's the bleeding stop?
It doesn't.
You certainly have a right to deny it and just leave it sit there if that's
No, I
what this
don't
board wants to
think
If you
do.
let it sit another year, we can take it up with a skid loader because it's gonna fall. I mean, that's literally the truth, it's not a joke. No.
But who's it gonna hurt or kill?
Well, that's just it, I
It's
mean,
not worth the risk.
well,
As you
it's,
saw too,
No
the
estate
brick
would
on
want
the
that
outside
access.
is just a veneer type.
Yeah, it just
That's
hangs.
what It just fall off of it.
It's difficult.
You got the brick
I mean,
itself.
it's the building, I'm like David, I wouldn't even walk in the building, it's that bad. I mean, I've seen
Yeah,
bad buildings, but this one's bad.
I've been around it.
But you know, this is a
Get an
little
answer?
different.
Yeah, I guess you could foreclose.
What's the answer?
Okay, the answer is he's going to fill use the bricks for fill, also any concrete he breaks up, and he's gonna take the foundation down to ground level. And he'll come in with this dirt and fill it up and make it smooth and all this,
So basically, all the bids are the same.
basically,
Except for the cost, correct?
except for the cost.
Well, and one's including dumpsters and the other two.
No, no.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, first one after.
No, no.
Oh,
I wish they did.
We have to provide the dumpsters on all of them.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, you know, it's, say, could cost maybe $30,000 and, you know, that's a lot of equipment somewhere else, isn't it?
You asked me the question, we have 4 trucks. If we could spare those trucks and get 4 drivers, we could take that stuff to the landfill in our trucks, and not do the dumpsters at all. And I suppose it would be somewhat cheaper. We've been hauling our own rock and gravel and getting ready to do some of our own paving. But we could run 4 trucks over there if I have enough men to do 4 drivers. And we could run it to the landfill.
That's $4,000 we could save at 10 dumpsters at $400 a pop.
Well, but
What
you got drivers, we got fuel, and wear and tear on our trucks.
Well, we have,
And remember, our trucks don't hold much, we got small trucks.
I have
Yeah,
a question
okay.
too. David, what's the age of those trucks? And that's a lot of wear and tear on our city trucks.
Yeah, it's
How many of those
true.
trucks we got to replace when this job is done?
it's true.
The trucks are in really good shape.
Okay.
They'll handle that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good for that, it's just a matter of the time of doing it and so forth, have to set up and make a schedule of sorts.
Well, the
Is
personnel
that
we're not
bad?
using on trash pickup, are they
We
qualified
got
drivers?
people that
We could do
drive.
it,
Like I said, we just have to schedule it.
but I mean, I don't want you to think it's gonna be free, because you gotta pay those drivers, you gotta use your trucks, and a lot of
Sure.
diesel
Well,
fuel.
we gotta pay them anyway because they're working, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
yeah.
extra diesel fuel.
That's
Well,
why we use-
I'm for trying to cut costs on it, we're gonna have to do something, I mean, that's just.
Well, it's the council's final decision. All we can do is recommend.
No, we have to approve doing it, and they'll have to fund it or not fund it.
That's right. Well, I would like to make a motion, we accept the Frank Construction bid of $19,640.
And do you want us to try to do it with our own people, Brad? Because it makes a difference whether we ask the council for 19,000 or we ask them for 25 or 30,000.
superintendent there
Will
needs
that make a
to,
difference on the total cost if we haul away as opposed to the other? It doesn't,
Yeah,
does it?
our total cost will be $19,640.
But we're not gonna save you that $19,000 with us doing it. That's what I thought.
This is just labor and tear down. We had to furnish the dumpsters, we furnished the
I
trucks.
just wanna make sure.
But I don't need to ask for more money if this is what you're gonna do.
We can do that. We can haul the stuff away.
okay,
And, you know, I've always thought, if we could clean the brick away from the rest of the rubble, there's a lot of, like, the county highway would take it. But it's so expensive to try to clean the brick from the rubble.
Yeah, that's true.
They'd love to have the brick to fill around cans and different places where they're putting culverts in.
does it have to be clean?
He
Yeah,
made
can't have
mention
any
too,
wood.
Mayor,
Huh?
he made mention too, that any of the wood that he gets out of there, he'd be hauling it, or it'd be hauled off or whatever, or he would haul it off or something like this, because, you know, he said you want to put no wood down in that
Well, it
either,
goes in the dumpsters.
so, but that was just strictly the concrete and the brick and his fill.
I'll
Him
second
taking-
Fran's
him
motion
taking it
on
on,
it.
so.
Okay, we got a motion and a second.
Since talking about it's gotta be done.
Okay, you know, that might be a big help, because if he puts the brick and the concrete in the hole, and we just got wood, we may not have as many trips over there as we're thinking.
That's right.
That's a pretty big
Suggested.
basement. I was in that basement years
It's
ago.
three-fourths.
It's a pretty good sized basement.
It's about a half-deep basement and half of it, and it's all the way. I owned that for about 10 years, so I kind of know that building.
Probably a rodent's heaven's what it is.
Is there anything
Well, it's
south?
concrete. It's not a, well, it's still rodent, but yeah.
Is there anything salvageable? The neighbors have
Yes.
salvaged everything in there. The radios are gone.
That's why the door's already back.
I guess,
There isn't a thing in there.
okay.
Oh, did you
It's
see
been
anything you could salvage?
I wouldn't go in there. I didn't want to look. Honestly, it was that bad. I would not even attempt to even go in the
Are you
building.
guys ready for the question?
Yes.
All in favor of asking the council to spend $19,640 to tear it down with our own help hauling it away, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we have $10,676.50 in a motion, or a resolution 2013-20 that we want to transfer to. We're going to transfer from non-reverting operating fund into non-reverting field facilities 385, soccer 250, pickleball 174, Roberts Building 9,242.50, center rents to 505, and day camp 120. This is a transfer of income we had into non-reverting to pay for these different projects we're doing.
I move we approve resolution 2013-20.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve that transfer into all the things I just mentioned. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Park Department, Mr. Longley. In line order here right now.
Yes, doing a good job.
Okay, this pertains to this thing I just handed you here. We were a little late getting it to you today. Everybody get that to form over the ball field.
It should have a packet, 3 different quotes. 2 of them fairly close together. I don't know if you want me to say all the numbers or...
Yeah, I want you to
Okay.
say all the numbers because they gotta get it on TV.
Friendly Contracting was $12,758. Dunsel's was $13,748, and Taylor's was $21,000 for a new multi-purpose 24 by 22 building industrial park. So I guess I'm here to recommend which one of these proposals I'd like to use.
Which one do you recommend, Mike?
I recommend the Dunsel's, even though they're just a little bit higher. I think it's more of a realistic quote, and it's more detailed. Nope, I won't have any surprises. Also, we didn't ask for specific numbers on every little item, but I did pull out the doors and what Dunsel's was putting in and what Friendly was putting in. Dunsel's putting a little bit higher quality of door, so there's like a $400 difference just right there. of the type of door.
Was there a spec sheet on this building?
No, we just wanted a shell built and
We're gonna finish it ourselves.
Finish
and do
up.
it.
I mean,
There's no-
I mean to
No
quote
engineering.
from, I guess is what I'm saying.
No. It's just a shell building with the doors. We had a drawing. We didn't spend any money on engineering. What we were trying to do, we have around $13,000. We were trying to get something done we could get built for that and then try to finish with our own people. We would have tried to build it with our own people, but we're covered up. We don't have enough of our own people to do it. We could do it if we had time, but we just don't have time. And this is very important. This is over at the industrial park, and a truck ran through our bathroom. And what's happening is our people are going over behind one of our industries and using the bathroom, and they are complaining to me that it smells and they don't want it anymore. It's important we get this done quickly.
Did the truck that ran through the bathroom have insurance?
Yes, it did, but by the time they depreciated our bathroom, we only
Yeah,
got $3,000.
that's what I figured.
And then we have a deductible. How much did we get, Mike?
2,200, I think,
3,200?
2,200,
Yeah.
yeah, on one of them.
Will this
We
be
got two
located,
claims, one claim at Babe Ruth, one claim here, I
Yeah,
think, confused.
that's-
but,
What I'd like to do is okay this today, and we could give this quote and get the building started, and then we'll try to finish it ourselves inside, do the plumbing and do all the things we need to do in it.
this will be located behind home plate?
Yeah, pretty much, all the other full buildings will be taken down
Okay.
for this one building.
We have also gone to the foundation and asked for $10,000. You see the sidewalk in the upper right-hand picture?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got over there. That is a real
Mess.
bad deal liability-wise,
Safe.
because that ballpark belongs to the city, so it's our sidewalk. And if someone would fall on that, we have a big liability. So we've got a grant in, but we won't know until the middle of May.
I had the site visit today, which they come to the site, explain the project, and they go back and discuss. So hopefully here in, a couple weeks, we should know something.
Middle of May, she told me.
Middle of May, so,
You had the site visit?
yeah, today, this morning at
How
7
it
o'clock.
did go?
Good, it was raining, so it was quick.
Stick it to the
No,
post.
they walked, seeing the sidewalks was a mess, and the building's halfway falling down, and they seem pretty favorable of the project.
So you want this motion, Your Honor, to
I'd
vote
like to go ahead
council
and
or?
allow this, so we can go ahead and build a shell building, and we'll tear all the rest of these little buildings down ourselves. Won't we, Joby?
I'll make the motion that we accept the bid from Dunsel's Home Improvement per Mike's recommendation for $13,748.40 to improve and build a concession at the industrial park.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a second, any further discussion?
There was Mr. Dunkel's got a 50% down. Are we allowed to do that, Julie? That's been brought up before.
Probably what we'll do is buy the material,
We've done that.
you know.
25% of the frame, 25%
I think before we didn't have a contract. I think when we got a contract, we're allowed to do it.
Someone else was wanting
It
something
was
different.
fireworks, and we didn't have a contract. The fireworks was with the contract with the American Legion, not with us.
That's right.
We couldn't pay enough.
I think the
They
argument,
wanted paid in advance.
yeah, they wanted an advance payment or something.
This is a contract, I think we paid when we have a contract, don't we?
We're still not supposed to pay in advance. We can pay for the
The material.
Pay
materials.
for the materials and then,
Then that
The
can get them
balance
started.
would be-
Yeah.
Mr. Guntz will know that, what we can
I'll have
do.
to talk to him, I would assume, but I haven't discussed that part with
Has he
him.
done any work for the city?
Not that I know of. I know he built a building just like this, right behind Pizza King, it looked really, same size, same type of building, so I know his work, and, he's willing to work with us, because we're gonna have to, he's gonna have to do the foundation, we're going to go back, he's gonna have to leave, we'll do the plumbing, then we also got electrical problems, so we still got ball games going on, so we gotta make sure the lights stay working, electrical stay working, and all that good stuff, and he's willing to work with us through all that.
that's all, Mayor. I don't know anything else.
Okay. We got a motion on the floor, any further discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote.
Jane Oakley,
Yes.
Fran Showman.
Yes.
Leonard Urban.
Yes.
Mike Bishop,
Yes, please.
Tom Coldiron.
Yes.
We have unanimously passed that, so we can go ahead and give him the go on that and coordinate that with our street superintendent. So we
Thanks a lot,
can-
guys.
Thank you.
And I think I've talked with Bill. Bill might give us a little hand by moving the sewer over there. The sewer's in the, we're gonna have to move the sewer from there over behind home plate. Maybe reconnect.
I talked to Bill already about it.
Okay. All right, we have a young man that is going to retire from working for the city after 30 years. Wonder if you would escort that young man to the podium? Denver, are you able to come up and stand at the podium?
Yeah, with a little help. Pick him up, Frank.
Yeah. If it's all right, I'd like Nolan to be with me.
Come right up here.
He's the one got all this started, and I owe him a great deal.
Come on up here to the platform, all of you.
Come on, Nolan. Bonnie, come with us too. I want you to come up here. Well, all right. Never argue with her.
I'm going to have our radio celebrity and our TV announcer, our TV celebrity, read the letter that you presented to the city. So, Fran, if you would.
Okay. To the Honorable Leonard E. Urban and esteemed members of the Board of Public Works and Safety. This letter is to inform you that due to the fact of my injury, that I am unable to return to work at the First Aid Unit. My last day will be April 30th, 2013. I would like to thank everybody for the cards and prayers the past few months. I would also like to personally thank Nolan Selke, who taught me to be my best when times were at the very worst. Nolan went from my boss to one of my closest friends. I would also like to thank all of the other departments and personnel who helped make the First Aid Unit the very best to work for 35 years. For the city of Connersville is a treasure my heart will hold. To all of the members and former members of the First Aid Unit, you are my brothers and sisters. With that said, I will say goodbye and God bless. Thank you, Denver L. Markham, EMT-B, A Shift Captain, Fayette County First Aid Unit.
Thank you, Fran.
I'm going to do the official thing first here. I need a motion to okay his retirement. Who wants to do that?
So move.
Second.
We got a motion on the floor to accept Denver's retirement and his last day of April 30th, even if it's passed.
That's all right.
So any further discussion on that retirement? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. And then we have the very distinct honor of presenting him with a plaque, and if I can, I'll ask your boss to give that to you. I think you worked a good many years for him.
He was a good man. Thank you, buddy. You'll have to hang on that for me. I have to hold on to something. Sorry, guys.
We're ready for about a 20-minute speech here.
No speeches. I'm not very good at public speaking, but I do thank you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nolan, you're a good speaker. What would you say here?
Well, I feel privileged that Denver asked me to come down to assist in this. But I was a captain in charge up there in 1978, and Denver come and asked me for a job. And he told me something that I've never forgot.
Uh-oh.
He said, "You hire me," and said, "You'll never regret it." So that's what he's done. And that's how I received it. And he's fulfilled his obligations. And I'm proud to have worked with Denver all these years.
For the first 33 years, I think you can ask Dale, I missed 5 days of work.
That's great.
It's a good record, isn't it?
Dale, would you like to speak?
Just excellent help.
I think Denver came and picked up my wife one day when she had a spell up at...
Yes, sir, I did.
Yeah, I remember you coming. And it was kind of funny because we'd been in the funeral business all those years, and when they took my wife passed out in the bathroom, and she has a little heart problem, and they took her to the hospital, and when they went out the door, my kids were little, and one of the kids said, "Dad, are they taking her to the funeral home?"
You know, of all the time that I worked, I tried to treat everybody like they were my family.
You done a good
Well,
job.
Denver, it's certainly been a pleasure to know you all these years, and our first aid unit is run so efficient. And our response times, I read other city response times, they're trying to get them down to 8 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Our response times within the city are just twice as good as any response time. And even in the county, we respond and we go a long way out.
We've got the best, and the recognition should go to the guys like this.
It goes to everybody, and we operate it so efficiently. Cities smaller than us spend a lot more money on EMS than we do. We're just amazed what we get by, what we're able to do.
My wife Bonnie has a great deal to do with me being here.
Bonnie, could you stand up and take a bow? You had to put up with this, not having your husband 24 hours. Let's give Bonnie a hand. I talked to different ones that worked with you. The big tall guy comes up to...
Not Fox.
Fox.
Please tell me it wasn't Bill Fox.
He tells me you were a great guy.
Well,
I shouldn't listen?
apparently his medication finally kicked in.
Yeah, on behalf of the city, we're really grateful. We have
Thank you
people
all,
like you.
and I mean that.
And we wish you well in your retirement. And I want to be sure that Melissa gives you a bicentennial pin to wear proudly, and be sure to give Bonnie a bicentennial pin to wear proudly. Okay?
Yep.
And thank you so much for all your years.
Thank you all.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Give me.
Nolan, thanks for coming.
Come on, bud.
You got more?
Congratulations.
I thought you'd just sit down. We have been running with part-time people over at the first aid unit, and of course, we extended Mr. Markham's time, so we've been running with part-time people, and now it comes time to fill the vacancies over there, and I really didn't intend for the names to be issued until after you okayed filling 3 vacancies, but someone jumped the gun, and the paper got it, printed it. Took it off of our agenda.
It's on there.
Well, we had promised the union that we would try to employ the people from the group of part-time people. So he has selected 3 people from the part-time people, and he has given you all the figures which you've had in your hands since last Friday. And you can say, by doing it the way we plan to do it, we will save $11,907.30 versus part-time. Julie and I have had a seminar on the Obamacare, and we know now that we can't work anybody any more than 30 hours per week, or we find ourselves paying health insurance benefits. When you work 24 hours at the first aid unit in one shift, that means one shift for a part-time person, and we'd be already almost over the limit. So we find ourselves now that it is more responsible to have full-time people, although we will continue to use part-time people to try to save overtime. We have to have people that are coming in on a regular basis and on regular benefits. So with that, we've prepared this sheet for you, ready for discussion.
Where are these gentlemen from?
All of them, 2 of them are from Fayette County, and one of them's from Albany, which is up by Muncie.
Yes, okay.
They gave us their qualifications.
The 2 from Fayette County both are advanced EMTs. The one from Albany is paramedic.
How long have they been with you?
The first EMT, advanced EMT, has been there right at just a hair over 3 years now. The second advanced has been there right at a year, and paramedic has been there about 2 months, 3 months.
Okay.
we have to find people that are qualified. and
Yes.
It's hard to find those
I
people
know.
that are qualified.
It's difficult.
And we've been running short for how long? 2 years? Over?
Probably about 4 or 5.
I know at least 2, yeah.
Well, it was okay when we didn't face this insurance dilemma here.
So you think the overtime will come down, Dan?
It should, yes.
So the $3,335, will that require an additional appropriation or anything?
No, that's, no, that will come down out of the cost of the, what we're paying the part-time now.
Yes.
That will offset, that will offset through the overtime. So actually, there shouldn't be any additionals needed.
Okay.
See what
And we
happens.
won't cover them with insurance for what, 3 months?
90 to 120 days.
Well, but that's not till next year.
Yeah, okay.
So this year
It'll
we
be
can.
120 days.
Overtime's not gonna be near as attractive next year as it has been. It'll be okay where you work an 8-hour shift like in the park or the street department, but where you work 24 hours, you'll use up your 30 hours.
Right, you got 6 hours left. I mean, it's, so, okay. So you can work these guys more than 30 up until January 1.
On full-time, we'll be able to operate up to 122 days a year.
Okay.
So will this put you at where you're supposed to be on manpower?
Yes.
Okay.
Should have 4 on the crew.
Okay, one recommendation that we hire these fellows. Is that where we're at?
If you make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Christopher James Blades, James Burns, and Larry Schweier. Which ones are advanced and?
Jimmy, Christopher Blades, and James Burns are both advanced EMTs, and Larry Schweier is the paramedic.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Okay, I guess I made the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Jane seconded. Any further discussion? Anybody out there have any questions? We did follow all the rules and regulations in his hiring procedure. He knew his people, and we have an agreement with the union that we will look to them to hire. And he picked the ones that he thought were best suited, and they have agreed to come to work.
You have to fill your part-time slots now with more people, or?
We're going to try to get by where we are. There's possibly maybe one more that we would have.
How many
to bring in.
part-timers will this leave you?
That'll leave us with 4.
Any further discussion? We'll have a roll call vote.
Jane Oakley,
Yes.
Fran Trumbull.
Yes.
Leonard Urban.
Yes.
Mike Bishop.
Yes.
Ron Coldiron.
Yes.
Okay. You're ready to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Utilities.
Thank you, everybody.
Bill.
Just a couple of things, really don't have a lot. You received in your packet some information on some quotes that I had gotten for some lawnmowers. We have one old lawnmower that is 21 years old now, and we need to replace it. We've got 3 quotes, one from a local company out at Everton, Kenny Machinery out of Indianapolis, and Smith Implements in Rushville. And I know the Bad Boy Buggy is actually the cheapest one, but I'd like to have a little discussion on the John Deere, because that's what I'm going to recommend.
What's an ROP?
It's a rollover protection,
Okay, thanks.
and that's one reason that I've decided not to go with the Bad Boy, because they don't have that. And the fact that the deck is driven by belts and not a PTO. I think
And
they're all-
the deck thickness, is that a concern?
Actually, that's the best feature on the Bad Boy. It's got a lot heavier deck. I'm not so sure that that's gonna make a whole lot of difference, but That's usually what takes the most beating on the
Mhm.
motors is the deck.
Is a rollover equipment a safety requirement, Bill?
Well, I would imagine that it probably is a plus. I'm not so sure that it's a requirement, but I can imagine that if we had an accident and something happened, that we'd be scrutinized for not having it.
Do we have them on our motors?
No.
in the city?
I don't think we have any
They
of
come
them in
on
the city.
Kubotas usually.
Yeah, the Kubota.
They're on the John Deere's too. Oh, you got it on there.
Right.
Okay.
But the two reasons that I'm going with the John Deere, which is essentially $1,600 more expensive, is the rollover protection and the deck drive being by PTO instead of Ballast.
You know what model that is, Bill?
Not right off the top of my head, but we have it.
There's a Kubota dealer up on 40. You didn't talk to them?
I didn't talk to anyone about a Kubota other than Phil. The reason that I chose these three is one was local and the other two we deal with routinely. The reason I didn't go with the Kubota is apparently the radiator part on it is real prone to plug up, and Phil says that they have a tendency to run hot. So I didn't even pursue looking at one of those.
I've had a Kubota for 10 years, never had nickel trouble with it.
I've never had a Kubota, so I don't know.
It's got a roll bar on it.
I think Mike has some Kubotas up at the park, and I think those are some of the issues he's had.
You gotta keep the radiator cleaned out. I mean, you do on any of them. Keep the grill cleaned out.
Well, I know you're supposed to, but you get everybody
Maybe
working.
that's
these
the
things, so-
problem.
That's the first thing we tell our young people when they start. Every morning, they check it, they check the oil, and they clean the radiator.
We got a whole list of things for them to check. But anyway, no, I did not look for a Kubota, I just looked at these three units right here. I thought that they were comparable units, and that's what I could look at. But it's obviously, we're gonna have to replace one, and 21 years is a long time to have one, and
What are you gonna do with the old one? You trading it in or keeping it?
they're not worth anything traded in. We'll keep it until it just completely dies, and then we'll probably junk it.
What is it?
It's a Jacobson. And a lot of the parts for it are becoming obsolete, so. Right now, it's still usable, so we'll keep using it until it just completely dies.
How much grass do you fellows cut?
Acreage-wise, I don't know if I'm guessing probably 30 or 40 acres.
Really?
You know, we've got a lot, it's kind of spread out everywhere. We've got both plants and the new little area out there on Memorial Drive and our well fields and booster stations and lift stations, yeah, there's quite.
Some of the patches are too big for that, though, or too
Yeah.
small for that.
We use push more.
Push more.
Yeah, and this time of year, it's, well, you know how
Sure.
they mow. I mean, it's
Sure.
a couple times a week.
Diesels.
They're good mowers. Good mowers, I'll get it.
You ready to make a decision or any more discussion?
I'd like for you to look at the Kubota. I think you like what you're looking at before you buy it.
You know, I guess that's the problem. If you look at all of them, they all look, I mean, they've all got good features on them.
There's another one that the Kubota dealer on 40's got that's really a top line. I like the bad boy myself, and I'll tell you, those people pay taxes here, they're local Connersville people, and I think we should buy the bad boy, even if it doesn't have the PTO. I have belt drive on mine, I've put one belt on it in 10 years.
I talked to Bill earlier, Your Honor, and I know a gentleman that mows yards with this bad boy, and he's in love with it. I mean, he
I
said,
went down and looked at them, I tried to get the park department to buy one, but that's just, I can't vote to buy it out of town because I'll get chewed up on the street by tomorrow. And that doesn't bother me. I do think we have an obligation to support our own people.
Can the bad boy be retrofitted with the roll bar at all?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know at what cost, but it is an option.
I think it's in the best interest of those that work down there to have that roll bar. Where you guys are mowing, there's some places that.
Yeah, there's got some rough ground.
Yeah.
Another thing that played in me leaning more toward a John Deere than the bad boy was the John Deere or the Toro, if we need parts for them, and we can just run right up and get them. Not saying that we're gonna need parts right away, but The Bad Boy is made in Arkansas, and they tell me that typically you can get parts within a couple days if you need them. So maybe it's not even an issue, but that is something that I
Is-
thought about.
Is Hoosier RV carrying parts? I mean, if they're selling
No,
the equipment, are they
they're
carrying any
just
parts
a-
at all?
They're just a dealer. They're not a
Distributor.
servicing dealer.
I think they got belts and stuff, don't they?
Probably could
But
get
they
belts
don't have
any
them.
place, yeah.
What kind of engine's on that bad boy?
It's a cat diesel.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
good
cat diesel. And all of these diesel engines are pretty comparable with what I've been reading. I'm not opposed to getting a Bad Boy. I just, those are the reasons that I went with John Deere.
You haven't researched what a roll bar would cost, Bill? I mean,
I don't know, maybe $800, I don't know, that's just guessing. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to them.
Have you already started mowing with the old one?
Pardon me?
Is the old one already been used? Has it already been used this spring?
Yes.
The 21-year-old mower?
The 21-year-old one,
Yeah,
yes.
it's already been out,
It's still
okay.
serviceable right now.
Okay, so it's not like, if we're still discussing this, things are growing up. You have, okay,
No.
Okay.
We're keeping the grass mowed right.
okay.
So, whatever the board wants to do, doesn't matter to me.
one positive is they've all got the same amount of warranty. They've all got a 2-year warranty.
That's pretty standard.
All right, so I make a motion, we buy the Bad Boy 35 horse cat engine. I'm just gonna do this, get it on the floor. You're sitting around here. I'll get accused of a long meeting here in a minute.
I'll second it.
I'll get him throwing the rope, how's that?
You wanted to throw in the roll bar?
Yeah.
You'll do it as long as they throw in the roll
Yeah,
bar.
yeah.
That's not
Someone's
part of
gotta
my
amend
motion.
the- amend the
I'll
motion.
find out.
Yeah, it'd be
Let's see
great.
how good Bill could talk him into it. I got a second to my motion or not?
Yes.
I got a second. Any further discussion?
We could install that roll bar ourselves, couldn't we?
Oh, absolutely.
Installed.
Okay, roll call vote.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
excuse me, Mike has a question.
Mike,
Yeah, the prices on these, Bill?
we got him here. We'll give them to you after the meeting. Right here. We'll give it to you. Give it to you right now if you want.
I can wait.
You're awesome.
It's the one we got the motion on is $11,524. The others are in the 13,000 bracket,
It's the lowest of the three.
lowest of the three.
$1,600 savings roughly. That we make.
That doesn't bother me as much as buying local.
I agree with you, Mayor, on that.
I'm ready.
Jane Oakley?
Yes.
Fran Schomburg?
Yes.
Leonard Urban?
Yes.
Mike Bishop?
Yes.
Ron Coldiron?
Yeah.
Motion carried. See if you can buy a lawnmower with a roll bar. If you're not, I can tell you what you can do. You can take it up there and fill, put a roll bar on that.
Yeah, you put it on.
We'll get that worked out.
But the trouble is, you need one of those that fold down so you get in and out of the trailer.
You probably make one.
Is there a road bar on the old one that you can transfer?
No, there's no roll bar. It's something heavy. Go ahead, Bill.
The job that Frank Construction done for us on 22nd Street last year, I know there were some of the neighbors up there, and rightfully so, concerned with the dirt work up in that area. They went up last week and got everything looking good up there, so he is essentially done with that project. I know the neighbors up there appreciate that. I'll probably bring back to you, once I'm satisfied with it, I think we've got about $3,000 retainage on that job. So as soon as we're satisfied with that, we'll get that project behind us. One little announcement to make about Mary Ellen. Of course, you know, she laid an annual report there in front of it. which is-
Pretty.
Nemo.
It's not only pretty, but there's a lot of good information.
I always read it from cover to cover.
Yeah.
We
There'll be a
didn't get one to
quiz
John or
later.
Julie, but if you want one, we certainly can get you.
There is a lot, and this is excellent. I commend you on this because there is a lot of good information in here.
She does a good job on it. And also, speaking of Mary Ellen, she recently went up to take a an exam for her pre-treatment coordinator's job, and she is now a state registered pre-treatment coordinator, which there's not too many of them in the state, so I'm pretty proud of her that she did.
Would you come up in front here, Mary Ellen? I'm not gonna make you speak. I just wanna get you up here with your boss. I think he's your boss. And so you can get a picture. This is quite an honor, Darrell, and it should be in the paper. I'm not telling you what you put in your paper, but this is, this is something good.
You can do this now.
Well, I mean, it's quite an honor to have one of the few in the state. Nobody knows the credentials that this lady has.
That's the
And
truth.
she's put a lot into it.
That's
So
right.
she does deserve some recognition.
A lot of this is on her own time too.
She takes care of that wastewater treatment like it's her own kitchen.
It is her kid, I think. One of the kids.
Worry about
Did you
it.
shake hands with her so they can get you?
All right, Bill.
Thank you.
But we do appreciate it.
We do appreciate Mary Ellen what you do. and
Thank you very
Thank
much.
And I guess, maybe it's the last meeting, or probably the meeting before that, we touched a little bit on our AMCO meter situation. Well, since then, John has been doing some back and forth with AMCO on some type of a meeting or settlement, so we're still working with it.
I can follow up on that. We have asked that the president of the company or the sales representative of the company and their attorney come up here and talk to us. They agreed to send their sales representative, but they would not let our attorney in the room when we talked with them, and I said, that's not acceptable. I want Baker in the room with us when we talk to him. And so we're waiting on a response, right?
Yes, that's where it's at this time. And with that, that's all I have.
Well, I have one other thing. You remember at the last meeting, we were asked to approve $22,900 for Westlers for that concrete blacktop thing. Well, I researched that and worked on it a little bit, and I would like for you to rescind that motion to pay that $22,900 until we get the actual bill. The actual bill could be as low as $12,000. I found out how they do that, and they did not itemize that bill. And I've talked with Westlers, and there's a possibility that we can negotiate that down to as low as 12, maybe. We have to do some work with NDOT. But I'd like to rescind that. I don't want to pay that up front until we get that actual bill. And if you trust me, we'll do that. If not, you can go ahead and pay them the $22,900 if you want
Is
to.
there a number on that? Do you remember what the number was?
We didn't have any.
No.
So we have it.
Does that need to be in the form of a motion?
Yes, it does.
I believe what you need to do is amend the motion, the resolutions, I'm sorry, the resolution that was previously
What was the
passed.
number of that resolution?
We didn't have a resolution,
Okay, we didn't have a resolution.
Well, did you have you had a verbal resolution and a vote?
just a vote, yeah.
Yeah.
One that you know.
A motion was made and seconded, unanimously passed, as I recall, so you need to,
Wasn't unanimous.
No,
I
it's
voted
3 to
against.
2.
wasn't, well,
Ron
anyway,
voted
passed.
against it too.
Wrong vote.
It was 3-2.
Yeah, I would amend that to, whatever figure you want to include.
Well, I would
if you
like
have
to,
one.
I'll make the motion since I've been working on it. I'd like to make a motion that we amend that motion to read, we will pay the actual charges when we get them.
Yeah.
And they will be presented to the board.
They
when
will
come.
present to this board.
Okay.
And if my investigation's right, they should be less than $22,900.
To be paid after review.
You need a second.
I'll second. But I have a question, Your Honor. Why can't they do this in the beginning instead of us having to ask for it?
Let me tell you what happened here. There's
This is
this
very
thing going
frustrating.
around the state with all of these projects that make the companies decide whether asphalt or concrete is the best. In our position, because we don't have an ability to maintain concrete, we are going toward asphalt, and we've been approved. But we have to get NDOT to agree with us, and I think I'm gonna have to go, maybe you and I both, to a meeting with Wrestler and NDOT to get this approved. If we do, then it could be $12,000. If it has to be redesigned or something, then it could be more.
That's possible.
There's a company that does the the looking at it, that everybody buys it from a company, they don't actually do it. Then it has to be included in the plan. And that's where we are. They've already got it done, and I believe that was 8,000.
I never did.
I talked with them, and I think it was 8,000. Now they've got to find out what they got to do to get it in the plan. And if NDOT agrees to it, it should be around 12. Should be. I'm not guaranteeing. All I'm saying is we're fighting for that extra money. But I think you're right. I think you should always insist on an itemized list of anything that you buy or pay for. You would at home, so why wouldn't you here?
That's exactly right.
Okay. Did we vote on that?
No.
We have a motion on the floor that amends the former motion offering $22,900 upfront to the actual cost for this concrete versus asphalt decision. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we got it covered.
Thank you.
That's all you got, Bill?
That's it.
Thank you, Bill.
Does there anybody have anything under public forum that I missed out here that they wanted to speak? Jason, did you have anything, or nobody? Fire chief, nothing? David? Okay. You remember at the last meeting I asked you to pass a resolution allowing us to demolish part of the property up at the Vistion building?
Yes.
We took two quotes, and one was 85, one was 75. We didn't make a decision, we tabled it. Since then, we've had the company come in twice. First, the CEO of the company and others. They looked at it, and again, they said, we want you to consider selling these portions of this equipment. And we also now want to add the mezzanines inside the building. There were mezzanines up there on stilts where they had offices and restrooms. They don't want that. They want clear ceiling all over. So there's, how many mezzanines would you say? 6?
More than that, probably.
8 or 10.
Yeah.
Is there? Okay.
They want the old mess up over the hose department too? They want that torn out?
Oh.
That's a big chore.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, we've got to re-quote that, to take all of that out
Right.
and get a new plan. But we haven't got the for sure that they're gonna take the building, so there's no point in me going out and get quotes. Now, I have talked to them each day, we get emails each day. They are having different people look at the building and give quotes on refurbishing the building. They met with Duke, I believe, today. They've met with all the different utilities, and they are about to make a decision. But once they do, then we'll go in there and we'll get quotes on removing all that and take that money, putting it into whatever needs to be put into, probably the roof. Okay? So that's where we are on that. Everything is going well, but we haven't got a solid, yes, we're coming to Connersville. We think we're in the top running, but we're just not exactly sure. The Roberts building, we quoted the floor last week with Jim Sealer, then we lightly sanded it. We were gonna coat it today, but the stuff isn't in yet. I think we're gonna coat it tomorrow. Maybe it came this afternoon. We had the college kids start work this morning. We're washing windows, we're touching up paint, we're hanging towel rackets, locks on the doors, and all the little things inside. We're also building a parking lot. I don't know if you noticed on the east side of the building by your air conditioners. We built a parking lot and we're getting ready. David's gonna pay for us. As soon as we get it all rolled, we're moving along great with the Roberts building. I think that's about all I have. Did I forget something? Any questions?
Not sure.
Old business? Miscellaneous business. We had the mayor's roundtable here. We went to Laurel Hotel on the train. We had a great meeting. Fran made that trip.
Yes.
And Jody Woods from RIAC gave us a program on nepotism, what we could do and we can't do. And on this board, anybody on this board can do work for us, except friends, family, or my family. That don't include you, Ron. It's strange, but they only included council people and the mayor. So, it's a strange world to me, but that's the way it is. It was a good meeting, and we finally determined that those people that have worked for us summer after summer can continue to work as long as they're not, their direct supervisor is not a family member. They named all the different family members. But when those people that are family members drop off, that are being supervised by a family member, that are not grandfathered, then nobody could be hired. So, we think we're in compliance, right, Blood Pressure?
We sure hope so.
All right, any questions on that? Any other miscellaneous business? Dane?
Nope. 13.
John?
No, sir.
Bicentennial, I want to remember the elders luncheon, I think is coming up, what is it, 15th, Melissa? If you're 80 plus, you can go to the elders luncheon. I don't know if anybody in here is qualified. Except me, I can go. 16th at noon, 11:30. And I'm told there's almost 200 reservations for that, I think, or 180, I forget. There's a lot of reservations for that. So if you're over 80, you contact Mary Ann Morse. If you're over 80, you're entitled to go to that. Claims, city,
You want utilities first?
run the utilities.
Water claim is $60,980.67. Sewer is $86,327.89. Stormwater, $55,175.13. Trash is $13,180.41 for a total of $215,664.10.
City claim?
Okay, there was an interesting claim. I was wondering, what is the Sammy shirt that we, does anyone?
Park,
Something with a park, right.
Sammy the Squirrel is their
Oh, is that
logo.
your shirt for Sammy the squirrel? We had two of them, two squirrels.
I can't into that part, Frank.
Okay.
And Mike's already gone and he goes to work. He don't sit around and listen to this.
City claims for 241, the amount of money, $118,747.90.
I move we accept the claims if they've been submitted.
Second. Any discussion on the claims? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Any other business to come before this group? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn this meeting.
Oh, wait a minute, I do have one thing laying here. I'm sorry. County Commissioner Zine Lador went up to the Vistion plant with our street foreman, our street superintendent, and they got some things picked out up there in extra. You know, it's a dry erase board, metal bookcase with doors, small metal desk, 4-drawer metal filing cabinet, 6 chairs, metal storage cabinet, metal small parts drawer cabinet, metal shelf unit, a polycart, whatever that is, 2 trash cans, a stapler, 1 hole punch, a hand truck if possible. Was there one up there? They want us to give that to the county to furnish their cemetery office. If the county commissioners all agree tomorrow, and one was in here, is it okay to give the county that stuff? I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we give it to the county, if we can put it to good use.
I'll second.
Got a motion on the floor that we give this stuff, provided the county commissioners want it, their meeting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it's fine.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I do want to say the county has taken their bulldozer up there and helped us build that parking lot, done a great job. It's just looking real good up there. Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
I made a
There's
motion.
been a motion. and a
We got it?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.